Okay, the garden is winding down. I went to the store to get some pea seeds to plant a fall crop of peas, and I couldn't find any. I guess I should have bought the seeds in the spring. So these are the scarlet runner beans. I ate a bunch of them when they were young, and I've let these go. You can see the lumps. They're not ready to open up yet, but there's going to be a few of them. And I just have a ton of green tomatoes. Now, I've been picking tomatoes a lot. I just picked yesterday. But I wanted to see how tiny these ones are. And they're so good. They're the itty bitty. You can tell how little they are next to my finger. Tiny cherry tomatoes. And they're just loaded all the way up to the top. Lots and lots of those to come. I did pick all the ripe ones yesterday. These are the Juliets. And I've been eating a ton of those. And they really got to be one of my favorites. They're bigger than a cherry tomato, but smaller than the Roma. Meaty like the Roma. Speaking of Romas, this is my pitiful little Roma. I had broke the top off of this plant, and I'll tell you, there is 100 tomatoes on it right now. I can only imagine, and they're pretty good size, you know, for Romas. I can only imagine what this plant would have had I not broken the top off. It's just loaded. There's 100 of them on there. And I've been picking them all along. This is one of the Moscovich. Both of these are Moscovich, I've decided. That had the curly leaf disease when they were smaller. And I've gotten a lot of tomatoes off of these. Look at the size of this one. It's just finally starting to get ripe. But there's a lot of big tomatoes in there. You can see how big those are. I made salsa yesterday, and most of them were off of these. So I've picked at least 10 pounds. And I gave some to the neighbors. And that they're still setting all the way to the top. I mean, that's probably 9 feet up. And they're still setting. My idea was to cut them off and let all of these bigger ones ripen. But gosh, they just keep setting more. Okay, these two on the end, I'm not sure of the variety of this one. The label said it was an Amish paste, but it's not. And they look terrible. I mean, really bad. This one here, I do believe, was an Amish paste. And it's still got a cluster of tomatoes in it. But you can see it's still got the curl that they had early on. And all the bottom leaves are turning yellow. It is no good. Those two need to be pulled out. But lots more of these runner beans. I just harvested cucumbers yesterday because I made canned up some relish. We'll get on this side so you can see the tomatoes. Look at the size of some of these. I'll put my hand by them for you to have a comparison. That's bigger than my hand. And there's just a lot of them. Just starting to get some yellow on them. So even though they had that curl and that sickness, they still produced well. You know, I've taken at least 10 pounds. Well, 2 batches of salsa, all the tomatoes I could eat for 2 months, plus boxes of tomatoes for my neighbors. Can't ask for more than that. But here's the back side of that little Roma. As you can see, they're starting to get ripe here. I do think I would plant the Roma again. Be a little more careful next time not to cut the tops off. Oh, this one's here is actually the Juliet's. It's just a branch leaning over this way. It's loaded. All the way around loaded. Got 2 cherries. Okay, that's it. I just wanted you to see how good these ended up producing, considering how diseased they were. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.